Welcome to Game 2, Round 2, EU bracket. Once again, it is Jager versus Fadisaurus. This time, Fadisaurus will be playing as the Allies, double Soviets in the south. The map will be rails and metal. And Vipix and Zartcloud will be playing as mixed axis, north base. Vipix playing as Oberkommando west, and Zartcloud playing as Ostherr. Grenadiers start from Zartcloud. Volksgrenadiers start from Vipix. Also moving his SWS half-track up quite quickly along the road here, probably thinking about places to set up his battle group headquarters. Fahu will be going with a conscript start into a special rifle command, possibly starting out with Penal Battalion. Or not, possibly actually going with a sniper, it looks like. Or a scout car. No, Penal Battalion. And Dilophosaurus going with also a special rifle command. So double tier 1 from these Soviets. We're not going to have any Maxims. Looks like there's going to be lots of scout cars and penals and snipers this game. They must have found their opponent's snipers particularly annoying, because I'm thinking we're probably going to see quite a few snipers here. And Vipix is actually destroying this building with his SWS. Apparently, it doesn't actually make a very good defensive position for the north player, because there's only one window here in the south, but it's actually quite a good defensive position for the south player, so he wants to deny that to his enemy before any troops arrive. Uses his supply half-track to destroy that, and without really even taking any damage or harassment in return. We do have a Kuba wagon hitting the field as well, and the Kuba wagon can be rather difficult to use in this area because of how much green cover there is and how many obstacles there are to its pathing. But we'll see if we can make it work. It looks like the Axis are going to go in quite hard on the right side, dedicating 2 squads of Grenadiers in addition to all of Vipix's forces. Although those Volksgrenadiers got into very close range against those conscripts, took quite a few casualties. Still, it's not going to matter, because there's really no way for Fahu to win this against so much stuff forced away with his conscripts. Penals aren't going to be able to do anything against the Kuba, and there's of course screening Grenadiers for the scout car, so this will be a pretty firm hold on the right side by the Axis if Fahu's teammate Dilophosaurus doesn't move up to support. But it looks like rather than support, he's going to just focus on taking his side of the map. There's not much here to stop him, so he should be able to grab the left side pretty much unopposed, and then he'll be able to use his scout car to support in engagements while his conscripts grab the fuel. And since they've both got a scout car, I think they should be able to hunt down that Kuba wagon relatively easily, but we'll see. Ooh, that scout car almost actually caught this battle group headquarters constructing. I think he can get maybe one burst off on it, get a little bit of free veterancy, force his opponent to repair. He probably saw it and thought about it, but decided that this full squad was more worthwhile. And there it goes. So that was a bit of a tactical decision he had to make there, and I think he made the right one, successfully wiping that Pioneer squad. Going to decap this cutoff here, also continuing to get control of the middle and left side fuels. This scout car trying to find an opening to harass a little bit, but I think it took a little too much damage from that machine gun burst. And he's going to have to pull back for repairs. Which just goes to show that that M3 scout car really has to get into very close range against the Kuba wagon to be able to effectively damage it. Just trying to hit it with a few bursts from long range doesn't usually do all that much. Really great map control from the Allies here, though. Certainly, if the Axis don't dedicate at least a few more squads to taking some territory back, counter harassment, they're going to really struggle for resources later on. Kuba wagon continuing to combat these infantry threats. Unfortunately, this push from Dilophosaurus coming down from the north isn't very well coordinated with his teammate Fahu. If he had pushed up from the south at the same time, probably could have. Well, maybe there's still actually a pretty significant force here, so maybe not. Probably maybe would have lost either way if it wasn't a very well executed push with both scout cars fully repaired and that kind of thing. There is a Panzerschreck on the field now from Vipix, so that's going to be a pretty effective deterrent to the scout car. think as other people have mentioned earlier in the tournament, the Panzerschreck's not necessarily a hard counter to the scout car. You're not going to be able to hunt it and kill it, certainly, but it's really not that important to do so. What's more important is to zone the scout car, to keep it from getting super aggressive, chasing retreating squads, wiping your units, and Panzerschreck is really perfect for that because as soon as the scout car sees the Panzerschreck, it's pretty much forced to back off. Counter harassment happening over here. Ooh, he does throw a grenade. They were perfectly clumped. He could have wiped the squad had Dilophosaurus not been paying attention. Fortunately, he was, and he can't win this engagement, but as long as he stands in the capture zone, his opponent won't be able to take the fuel, so it looks like he's just going to stall for as long as possible. Also, important to note that when a grenade goes off, it creates this little crater of yellow cover. So if you move back to stand inside of it, it can... Whoa, what? Oh, he just retreated away from the scout car that he saw coming. The Panzerschreck shot missed, and he actually opted to retreat immediately. I think he probably could have won that, but he decided to just immediately retreat, playing it super safe, not wanting to get wiped, not wanting to lose it, not even take the chance of it possibly happening. Maybe because his first Shrek shot missed, and he didn't think it was worth the risk. Sniper moving up. Infantry in green cover doing pretty well, actually, against that Kuba wagon. Ooh, but a half-track being produced by Zarcloud here. Going to be using that as a mobile reinforce point, which can be kind of dangerous because you risk taking like a huge amount of bleed from snipers. But it definitely helps you win engagements in the sense that you can reinforce and they can't, so it gives you really strong presence on the map. Ooh, nice flank by Dilophosaurus. Oh, he totally caught that Kuba wagon out of position, but he hesitated and didn't chase. If he had gone in hard on that Kuba wagon, it would be dead right now. That being said, that Stern Pioneer squad stuck around way too long. Oh, what's he doing? He's getting so close to those Grenadiers. What is he thinking? He must just doesn't care if it dies or something. Zarcloud, for some reason, hasn't fasted it yet. There it goes. Trying to fast with the most wounded squad, though, that was getting flame burst down. Barely makes it away. Still, that scout car is going to survive. That's a miracle that that scout car is alive. He just dove into 3 Grenadier squad, like their whole army. That Kuba wagon is desperate for repairs. Vipix has somehow managed to keep it alive at 10% health for the last, like, 2 minutes. Zarcloud ejecting his Pioneers to get some repairs up on it, and I would say that that engagement went in favor of the Axis. Although, honestly, it kind of stalemated out with nothing really fully dying, except for a Stern Pioneer squad, actually. Full Stern Pioneer squad went down, so that's actually a pretty big win for the Allies, despite kind of getting pushed back and now losing this fuel. Wow, those LMGs just tore that thing to shreds.
You have a use for these scum?
And we'll actually note that Fahu and Dilophosaurus have constructed 3 fuel caches in the midst of all this, so that actually helps explain why they're struggling in these engagements a little bit. They are at a 600 manpower disadvantage, and they're probably going to try to offset that a little bit with a lot of medium armor or even light vehicles. Fahu going with tier 3. Will be done constructing soon. Dilophosaurus has not constructed any higher tech buildings. He does have 190 fuel in the bank, and he's actually gone with armored assault, which is pretty unusual to see. Certainly not necessarily anything wrong with it, it's just pretty unusual to actually have the fuel to be calling in T-3485s and IS-2s. So usually people will take a more niche doctrine, like guard mode or coordination, of course, has been extremely popular. But with this 3 fuel cache strategy and the excellent map control that they've had on the left side for pretty much the entire game, maybe we'll get to see both of those call-ins. Oh, never mind. We actually see tier 4 going up. Okay, so he is going to be spending his fuel on some non-doctrinal units, possibly a Katyusha, to try and unseat this defensive position. But we'll see what he chooses to do. Conscripts taking the central victory point here. Taking a lot of damage though. Don't.
Sector is at risk.
This is gonna be close. He does get the point, but I don't know if the squad's gonna get away. Run! Nope. First down in the red cover.
Has been killed.
Meanwhile, up in the north, Dilophosaurus continues to harass with his scout car. I think he's gonna get this squad. Zarcloud's not paying attention. No! That's a second full squad of Pyos that Zarcloud has lost to that same scout car. Conscripts fighting here in the middle. Not really much they're going to be able to do against this many mass infantry squads, though. We do see a T-70 on the field from Fahu, which is, as usual, I'm very excited about that. I hope that he's able to use it better than anybody else has used it in this tournament. I don't think that we've seen a single T-70 make it past like 4 kills, so that's his challenge this game, is to try and make the best possible use of that. Trying to snag some kills on that pack. Satchel going out on the pack while it's trying to reposition. Ooh, unfortunately it is not fully destroyed. T-70 is a little bit too occupied trying to take out this half-track, outmaneuver this Shrek. It's not going to be able to stick around and finish off the gun. So the satchel is not quite strong enough to destroy a pack. Oh jeez, what is he doing? Well, so much for that T-70. That one had 1 kill when it died, I think, so yeah. Merge! Look at that utility. Sniper firing on Grenadiers, but with the half-track still in good condition, he will be able to reinforce.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
And we're actually going to see 2 Su-76s being produced by Dilophosaurus, so that's the first time I've seen that unit produced in this this tournament. I'm gonna come right out and say it. I think that's a huge mistake. I have no idea what he's thinking. I think that decision could lose him this game, but it's good to see the attempt. And maybe he'll prove me wrong. I don't know. It could happen.
We built it as
Who knows?
your predecessor died a hero.
Meanwhile, we do have Mechanized Regiment headquarters going down from Vipix.
Su-76 assault
Battle
guns
Group
standing
headquarters
by.
has already been done. Nice to see him repairing this pack, by the way. Very important to remember to keep those team weapons repaired. You don't want to let those get destroyed by indirect fire or whatever else. Combat engineers are not going to be able to flank that, I don't think. Oh, unless it's burst. It doesn't run out. He tried to take cover behind this Panther, but this Panther carcass actually doesn't provide cover properly. I mean, there are some green cover spots inside of it, but you can like phase through it, and like it's really unclear exactly where you're supposed to stand. And I was pretty evident there that he couldn't position himself quite correctly and was forced to retreat. Still no repairs going up on this half track, but he's content to just try and keep it in the back, use it as a mobile reinforced point. While the Grenadiers screen, they should be able to win against these conscripts as long as he doesn't take any unlucky Molotovs or anything like that. I don't even think that retreat was really necessary. But okay. Su-76s are just kind of sitting AFK over here on the left, which is a pretty bad sign if you tech up and buy some high-tech units and then you don't even know how to utilize them once they hit the field. They are moving up now, though.
All crews have been trained to repair damaged vehicles.
Hit the wall. And there's a Puma right there. Shot against the Puma misses, and I think 2 Su-76s actually can beat a Puma.
Forces are capturing our
I
supplies.
think that is possible. It could happen. Light artillery barrage going out. Nice opening shot there. Nice. All right, 2 kills. One from each of them. That barrage ability is free, so that's something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind. Meanwhile, if we take a look at Fahu, I haven't seen any vehicles produced out of his tier 3. He's had it for a long time, but I haven't seen any tanks. Strangely enough. Oh, and he's actually going to go straight into a KV-1. What? Oh wait, no, I take that back. He made a T-70. Okay, okay. So he went T-70 into KV-1. For a second, I was confused. That's how little of an impact that T-70 had. I actually forgot that he even made it. Meanwhile, Puma similarly struggling to find opportunities. Still hasn't really done much of anything. The half track has been repaired. Going to probably be moving that back up over here towards the right to support these Grenadiers. Although that KV-1 is probably going to prove to be quite a challenge for Zarkcloud to deal with. Both of those pack shots just bounced, and he's kind of being forced to reposition a little bit by these charging conscripts. Doesn't want to take a nasty Molotov. Very nicely done. The conscripts will be forced away. So Zarkcloud pushes that push back, or counters that attack. Defends against that attack very gracefully, taking almost no losses. I think Fahu is struggling a little bit. Just kind of having trouble blasting his way through this line. In theory, he should be able to overwhelm it eventually, given the excellent map control that they've had pretty much the entire game. In addition to those 3 fuel caches, he should have a huge resource advantage. I think in time he should be able to outproduce his opponent. That being said, the T-70 plus the cost of the tier 3 has really set him back. If he, for example, had just held out and spammed KV-1s, he would have a much more beefy force right now. Of course, he was hoping to harass his opponent a lot more effectively with that T-70, and it just didn't work out. Just kind of the way the pathing happened up here, it just kind of fell a little flat. Su-76 is doing a pretty nice job of unseating those machine gun positions. Unfortunately, their standard attack doesn't seem all that effective against infantry. Light vehicles, maybe rear shots on medium tanks. Ooh, look at that. That half track just got taken out by an very aggressive push by the KV-1, which means that he's no longer going to be able to reinforce in the field here. Penal Battalion Flame Burst is doing quite nicely. Oh, geez, that scout car also getting caught by the push from Dilophosaurus's conscripts, so pretty heavy infantry push by the Allies here. Unfortunately, there is a Schwer HQ available to screen. There's plenty of machine gun screens set up. It will give the Allies the ability to push up and take the right side victory point, clear out this pack, grab the fuel back, get the clock ticking in their favor again. So all in all, I would say that was a very successful push. The only downside, of course, being that this KV-1 did die. But I think that they inflicted pretty heavy losses on their opponent in the process, so I think that not necessarily a huge win for the Allies, but not could have certainly gone worse. Su-76s are also firing on something. Ooh, jeez. I don't know. I think he could have picked a better spot to fire there. There's an MG there, some stuff here. Random targets. I think those Volks Grenadiers may not have been the best target, although I don't know. I think hoping for them to do anything is asking a little bit much.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Flamethrower squadron.
And actually, if we take a look at Dilophosaurus, we'll see a lot of resources being floated here. I think, yeah, he's waiting for 10 command points. He wants to call in his, one of these. He's probably going to go with the T-3485s as soon as he hits 10. I don't think he has time to wait for 11 command points to bring in an IS-2. Fahu, on the other hand, has been spending a lot of manpower. He just called in these shock troops here. Semi-surprised that he didn't instead save up and get a B4, which is usually what people kind of want out of this doctrine that he's chosen. B4 hitting the field should be a pretty effective deterrent to those shock troops, pushing them back just about immediately, forcing Fahu to regroup a little bit, reconsider his strategy. Meanwhile, the left side has also fallen, but to a pretty small force. I think Dilophosaurus should be able to take back the left side. Could come down to micro. Barrage going out on the MG34. At that range, you can't really hit much though. nice flame burst on those Obersoldaten. Very nice. I think they might be forced to retreat. Oh, Panzer IV shot on the penals. Oh, he actually retreated them a little prematurely. That was a perfect merge, but unfortunately he didn't trust himself. And he retreated right as the merge completed, and then he had to run away. Panzer IV moving up. Those SUs don't really stand much of a chance. Oh, jeez. And there it goes. The other one. I'm not even sure if the other one's going to make it to safety. Meanwhile, over here we do have a bit of an engagement. These penals doing really nice damage to that Grenadier squad. I think it's going to get away, though. I'm not sure if those Obers are going to survive. What are you doing? Retreat. Oh no, full squad of Obersoldaten down. That hurts. Panzer IV does find this fuel cache, though. And looks like this SU did get away, and there's now an IS-2 on the field. Ooh, geez, the opening shot could wipe that Ober squad. Nope, it misses. It's actually doing a really nice harassment with this late game scout car. Oh, I guess it's not a late game scout car, it's the same one from the very beginning, actually. So he's managed to keep it alive and is finding ways to keep it relevant here, even at the 20-minute mark. Wiping an Ober squad with it, so that's impressive. We also have a new KV-1 on the field, shock troops. IS-2 moving up. Oh, 6 kills on the IS-2 already, so he's definitely leading his opponent quite nicely. And we also will note that the left side fuel point got harassed during all of that, so lots of back and forth this game. Lots of back and forth, but the Allies really need to execute now. They can't keep the game on a razor's edge like this. They need to make a decisive push. Certainly constructing a B4 could help. And I was wrong, he actually didn't, Fadisaurus did not go with T-3485s, instead he did hold out for the 11th command point and get the IS-2, and he's actually bringing in a third Su-76. So he seems pretty intent on making that unit work, which is not easy. Panzer IV and Puma storming their way through here. They almost... Oh, the KV-1's actually extremely low due to these packs, I think. And he's being forced back. Looks like those vehicles might even chase him. He does get on the road, trying to put a little distance between himself and those vehicles. Ooh. They're just too aggressive and there's nothing he can do. In fact, if they wanted, they probably could have taken out that scout car too, but they decide there's no need to overextend so far just to take out such a low priority target, and that's going to be Fahu's second KV-1 getting taken out by a nice coordinated push by those two vehicles, which are one of them belongs to Vipix and one belongs to Zarkbot. So that was two different players coordinating that attack. Nice teamwork. Good to see that. Ooh, look at that strafe. Really it didn't really do anything, did it? No model losses even, just suppression. IS-2 moving up. Dilophosaurus having a lot more success on this front than Fahu. Hopefully he can make this work with his IS-2, his strafe loitering around, maybe get some good hits off. He's also trying to barrage with his Su-76s. And it's unfortunate that their standard attack is so ineffective. They really can't do anything against infantry for some reason. I just don't understand it. Their standard attack isn't really effective against any targets. It's not good against infantry. It's not good against tanks. It's like okay against lightly armored vehicles. It's the only thing they can reliably attack. Packs moving into position to fire on the IS-2. Lots of infantry positioned in cover here to try and buffet this austere assault. Panzer IV getting quite aggressive. The Su-76s are also being forced to reposition by these Volksgrenadiers, and they're not really getting bled on approach the way they would be if, for example, the Scott is a good example of a very similar role, but it's actually really effective at bleeding infantry squads. Su-76 just can't do it in the same way because it has no turret, and even when it is firing, it's pretty ineffective. Obersoldaten taking a little damage, being actually, I probably didn't even really need to retreat that squad, but better safe than sorry. Certainly very expensive and time-consuming to reinforce, so not the end of the world to do so, considering his retreat point is actually right here. Doesn't cost him very much to do, although I think this retreat point can actually expose him to some pathing bugs and such with this tiny little narrow passageway he's got to get through to retreat and everything. Probably be kind of annoying. You probably could have put that slightly, positioned slightly differently to try and prevent that. But whatever. Repairs happening over here. More repairs going to need to happen on the IS-2. As far as resources, Dilophosaurus still has several minutes before he can get another call in. Fahu still has not opted for a B4, probably just gonna keep saving for more KV-1s. Meanwhile, over here, a stolen MG-34 is actually doing pretty well against these Obersoldaten. Ooh. Maybe I spoke too soon. Oh, nice shot on the Panzer IV, though. Frangible going out on the AT gun. Interesting decision.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
In that particular situation, it didn't really do all that much. I guess he just wanted to protect it from protect the Panzer IV from further shots. Su-76 is moving back up with infantry support over here on the left, doing what little they can. Still only 7 kills between the two that are on the field. Stop planting those mines. Su-76 barrage going out on a machine gun, forcing retreat. Also an incendiary, or strafe, actually. Oh, and the strafe wipes the squad. Very nice. Yeah, see, he's super clumped up and bunched right here. It's actually a shame that Dilophosaurus doesn't know about that. He could probably get some really nice Su-76 barrages off if he knew exactly how to time and position them. He'd still have to do it at pretty much max range, though. Smoke grenade going down for those shock troops, giving them a chance to pull back a little bit. All these Vet 3 Grenadiers, though, are probably going to tear all of this stuff to shreds. Not really much to, there's no armor, essentially, to deter them, although he may try and throw a grenade. They're quite clumped. Oh, that was really off target, unfortunately. Field gun moving up, taking shots at the Panzer IV. Panzer IV has 21 kills, wow. We actually have an elephant from Zarkcloud. I think that's the second time we've seen him produce his unit this tournament. So that's always fun to see. That's probably going to be a very effective deterrent to the IS-2, although hasn't been all that aggressive. Oh, geez, that volley of Shreks on the elephant shot and the Puma shot almost take it out completely. Su-76 is providing a little bit of area denial. That barrage forcing the Panzer Shreks back at least. The elephant is moving up. Oh, geez, that probably would have one-shotted that Su-76 if that had connected. So that's a big problem. They're gonna need like massed medium armor to deal with that, or the B4. T-34-85s or something. Because it's, well, actually, now there's a King Tiger on the field also. Okay, so that's pretty much impossible to assault with what the Allies have currently fielded. Yeah, I was about to say that the Elephant doesn't have that much anti-tank support on its flank, so that, oh, but there's a B4. Okay. Okay, so the Allies do have a B4. That opening shot didn't do all that much, but hopefully they'll be able to make something happen with that. Where is that aimed? Oh, that was aimed on the B4. I missed it. I didn't know for sure where it was. I guess that should have been, I should have known with that recon plane circling right there. So much for that. Nice, nice Stuka bombing strike. And that's actually a pretty, I mean, that's certainly an advantage of this elephant doctrine, is that you get the Stuka bombing strike. Kind of interesting placement of that ability, actually, because the Tiger, for example, doesn't have any doctrinal abilities that can instantly destroy a B4, and it's quite vulnerable to the B4. But the elephant, similarly vulnerable to the B4, has the Stuka bomb strike available as the next ability, and Zark Cloud certainly has saved up plenty of munitions to counter B4s. So this elephant should be able to pretty much just sit here in the center of the map and be fine. Looks like the King Tiger has moved up over here on the left side and pushed back the IS-2 once again. And as I've mentioned before, the Soviets are really struggling to keep their heavy vehicles repaired. It's just so difficult to repair at a comparable speed. Stern Pioneers, look at that. King Tiger's going to be back up at full in no time. Really takes quite a while for combat engineers to do the same. Fahu continuing to just get pushed back over here. For a brief moment, they did have a nice coordinated push on the right side, with his teammates supporting, pushing up the road here. But ever since then, the Axis have just sort of slowly pushed them back, and now they're really struggling. And I almost think that a second IS-2 was a mistake. I think the T-3485 Colin would have served him better with an elephant and a King Tiger on the field. It's more about numbers and pulling off a quick flank. Two IS-2s can be hard, but I guess he's going to try and make it work. King Tiger's been repaired. IS-2 firing shots, and we actually have an S-mine field right here. Did those folks right here just plant those? I think they did. Yeah, they did. So fortifications doctrine being chosen by Vibux, and I guess he chose that a while ago because he's had MG34s for the entire game, but I guess I just sort of assumed Luftwaffe. That will be fortifications, and there's actually S-mine fields all over the place, and that, oh, those Su-76 barrages just seem really off target. Not even really sure what that's aimed at. There's packs back here he could have fired at, and machine gun. Oh, that strafe was devastating, though, wiping that Stern Pioneer squad just about instantly. King Tiger taking shots on the Penal Battalion. Still hasn't really taken all that much damage. I think these IS-2s are a little bit timid. This one's already taken a ton of damage. In fact, and the Elephant has been moved up to support. We do have Fahu trying to push up from the middle here. The stolen MG34 using armor-piercing rounds on those Grenadiers, but it's not really able to close into short range with the shock troops with that Panzer IV screening. And meanwhile, over here, looks like that IS-2's been reduced rather low. This one's almost been repaired, though. The King Tiger is actually quite low as well. I think those IS-2s would be able to take it on if there were an elephant supporting. An elephant in 2 packs, for that matter. Still, just a couple lucky shots, who knows? Ooh, crew shocked. No, now he's gonna have to be. Now he's definitely gotta pull back. Elephant's also gonna start getting a lot of veterancy. It'll be Vet 1 with its next successful shot against his IS-2s. Ooh, a little too aggressive with those Volks Grenadiers. He does manage to recover the Shrek despite being under heavy fire. He'll make it away. This Panzer IV is going in hard on a KV-1, a new KV-1. Jeez, every time Fahu makes a KV-1, it seems to get just pushed right off the map, no problem. I didn't even see that engagement.
Pioneers reporting for duty.
They mock us, the other units. They say we are the infirm and weak. Well,
Volks Grenadier ready for action.
Looks like the Allies just aren't sure what to do. I think that this build, like I said, is not really working out for them. Only 11 kills combined between these, and like the fuel investment is huge. It is just so much fuel to spend on so little return. Tier 4 is 120 fuel, and each one of those units is another 70. So that is 140 plus 120, that's 260 fuel for 11 kills. I think that's not really a very good return on investment. That's just my opinion, though. I guess by that logic, you can make anything look bad. The IS-2 only has 13 kills, and he spent 230 fuel on that. Is it a bad unit, Romeo? Ooh, Elephant is just really powerful, dealing massive damage to that IS-2. He did use target weak point there. 45 munitions actually to use that ability, but it's of course an excellent ability. I think he was hoping to take it out at long range, but unfortunately it kind of coasted out of range. And the Soviets are kind of clinging to the left point for dear life. They only have 97 victory points remaining, trying to make a sort of half-hearted push for the center victory point. Meanwhile, Fahu continuing to work the right side. He really hasn't had any success the entire game, but he just keeps on trying. Faust is going off. Both engines will be damaged. There are 2 packs up to support. Panzer IV still at a pretty high amount of health. Puma also in the area. And I'm not sure if those KV-1s are going to get away. I think that their frontal armor should be able to get them to safety. Oh, the packs are pushing up, though. Oh, I think that one's going to die. Oh, no, there's a bit of a traffic jam. Yeah. So much for that one. Meanwhile, over here, SUs continue to feebly fire on whatever. King Tiger pushing up. Lots of shots bouncing. Actually getting some pretty good shots off now. I think even one of those SU shots penetrated there, and the King Tiger will be forced away. For some reason, the Elephant wasn't really hooked up to support during that. Probably could have gone a little bit better. That engagement didn't really go in anybody's favor, though. Just kind of vetted up both sides.
Scout car awaiting orders.
And the Stuka bombing strike is getting called in, but that will be it. They have surrendered. Decided that there wasn't really anything that they could do to win at this point. Victory points were running out. They weren't having any success in their pushes, constantly being bled, losing squads and tanks and such. So that's going to conclude that matchup, and that means that Jager is going to advance into the winners bracket, and they will be fighting against All Stars in round 3. Hi, Amy Politifunk. Thank you very much for the advertisement, as usual. And Fadisaurus will be falling down into the elimination bracket, where they will fight against Easy as Pie. So those should be good games. They'll be coming up soon, and that's going to conclude this matchup. And next we're going to go into the elimination round 2 of the NA bracket. So I'll be right back with that.